Okay, we're going to try this again, even though I had a little technical difficulties, this being my first time in a while, but we are going to do this shortly. I have had so much exciting stuff going on in the last month, synchronicities abounding, and stuff to share about what we're calling a book that I just felt very compelled to be here today and to do this. So I'm going to read a fair bit of this because I wanted to get it right and have chosen my words carefully. So this testimonial is intended to further ground into being the new me, as well as to share the most important information I have come upon in form to date in many lifetimes. And I apologize, but I'm not going to be able to deal with chat stuff during this, if there is any. Got a lot going on here, just doing this for the first time in a while. I'm not intending to get support for myself or the book I'll be speaking about. If you are meant to receive, activate, and embody divine sovereignty, your higher self and ego structure will joyously get the Sophia Code, the title of the living transmission I will be referencing. No cajoling, forcing, or convincing anyone can ever occur around this magical, divinely downloaded codex of technology. I simply am sharing my story and timeline of the last month of my life and the role of the Sophia Code in it, because I know that others are meant to hear me share honestly now. So I found this work by Kaya Ra, May 19th, 2019. I ordered it on Amazon, and I'm so grateful because it really helped get me through COVID. I have been dabbling in consciousness raising and spiritual minded books for almost 35 years. And I've heard it all, read it all, many different religious studies, so many different teachers, live and in book format, and then YouTube. It's been a wonderful journey. But this guy is special. That's why I'm doing this. I read the book. I did what is recommended to do in the book, which is read aloud the second sections and do ceremonies out loud. And it changed me all the way through. Not going to be giving a ton of details, really, because you can go to kayara.com, KAIARA.com, and learn so much. There is so much there. And her YouTube channel, officialkayara.com, official Kayara on YouTube, is unbelievable. There's so much there. And this is part of the story. So a month ago, I was in Mount Shasta, and that current trip with lovely friends didn't afford me as much alone time as I maybe had imagined or whatnot. I was leaving the mountain the following day, and while camping up on the mountain, received a very, very powerful message I believe, from Mount Shasta herself to come back the next month when I had time and I knew I would be able to create space for what I was seeking. Now, what I was seeking was I needed some answers. My journey had taken me to a place where my health and healing practice had been stopped during COVID, and I took a sabbatical, I've been calling it, and have enjoyed it. But in the last 6 months, there had been a real push behind me of energy and voices, and there had been more and more suffering that it was time. It was time for me to do something else, something more. I hadn't really been seeking, opening, and redoing and doing what's recommended in this book a lot in the last 2 years or a year and a half. The timelines are a little vague, but you heard when I bought the book, I did it through COVID, and it's been, a long journey for all of us these last few years. But for some time, I was aware that, very aware that in order to know that I could go public with a lot of the stuff I wanted to do in the future, teach health and healing techniques from the Qigong tradition, meditation traditions, all that I've learned and gathered since becoming a practicing acupuncturist and learning about Taoism, that I didn't feel safe. I was flat out scared to go public and create a course and to do a lot of YouTube and Facebook lives, etc., to teach Qigong even online again. I've taken a break for most everything because I really think the fears of the pandemic, I should be probably be more careful with the words I choose, had gotten to me. So I was going to Mount Shasta 3 weeks ago, because actually my original visit was probably 6 or 7 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I was going back somewhat proverbially, literally on my knees, asking God, Goddess, higher self, what's next? What do I do? What do you want me to do? I need support in order to launch publicly and be seen. The second day I was in Mount Shasta, the location where this book was written, you learn a lot in the preface. Actually, in the preface, it's the only place that you learn anything about Kaya Ra, the author. Her history, which I had completely forgotten, is beyond intense. She's experienced the worst things any of us could imagine. I don't even know that I'm going to say anything about it here, because when you go to her own, you'll learn, but involves trafficking and the worst of the worst stuff. And the first 18 years of her life were misery. She was so psychic, and that psychic connection to source was the only thing that she says kept her alive, because higher dimensional energies helped her get through 13 near-death experiences. So that's just background for why I, somebody who's been researching a lot about what's true in the world, has trusted her and trusted the Sophia Code, a living transmission from the Sophia Dragon tribe. That's all on here. So on my first or second day up in Shasta 3 weeks ago, out of the blue, official Kaya Ra YouTube channel starts showing up on my feed. Why is that magical? Well, I'm a YouTube guy. I love listening to people I like and support. I love, we all like to listen to things while driving or doing stuff. I'm a YouTube fiend. And why do you think for 3 or 4 years that she had been doing so much on YouTube, I was made unawares? I didn't know. I didn't think to look for it. And the YouTube gods did not bring it to my awareness. As a student, I was not ready. That's the truth. For 6 months, I knew that I was getting ready, but I even was verbalizing to people like my father that I know I'm going to Shasta. I know it's missing. I know I'm scared. I know it's holding me up. So I was very clear, and that's been my blessing. I showed up in Shasta with an agenda. First or second day there, I start seeing Kaya Ra live and all the little shorts and the extended interviews that are on there. Why did that change things for me? Well, it's one thing to read this, and I had only gone through it once, and it had been a while. And you know how life is. And sometimes I was probably going through this the first time, and I probably wasn't 100% present the whole time. I'll be real honest. I did all 8 of the initiations ceremonies, but I know there were 2 or 3 of them that I didn't do as wholeheartedly as the others. Maybe I wasn't meant to work with those teachers as much because there are 8 historical figures and teachers in here who teach us. They are all sacred feminine figures. Isis, Hathor, Green Tara, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, White Buffalo Woman, and the Sophia Dragon tribe. So when I began listening to Kaya Ra being interviewed and watching all of her little shorts and going back in time to see what she's been up to since she published this book 7 years ago, I was gobsmacked. I was literally tapping into something that I had kind of lost touch with, well, really lost touch with. And the fact of the matter is, a book like this meant to help us all embody our sovereign divinity, all that I've been asking for. It's kind of bizarre to me. It's very bizarre. But here it was showing up in my feed, and I chose to follow and trust from that moment on. And that's when the magic really began. I found myself sitting in Mount Shasta City Park on that Saturday. I was up there because there was going to be a live, and she was going to be speaking about an event that was going to be in Sedona. And it was really focused around the dragon tribe, which is exciting. I don't know about you, but dragons are an interesting mythological, real bit of history. And I wanted to hear her speak live, and I wanted to hear what was going to be going on. And I was beginning to learn that there was quite a community of Sophia Code folks. So I was there listening in the park, barefooted, drum circle off to my left that day, really loving it. I felt lucky that day too. And in the beginning, they said they were going to be giving away a couple things, and they were even to be giving away a ticket to Sedona. And I thought, heck, man, I was feeling lucky. I was feeling good. I was in Sedona. I was on my path. I was listening now, getting reacquainted with what was next for me. And they did draw my name. There were 300 plus people, and I won this guy. No, this one. Activate the sovereign divinity of all beings. Self-mastery. Ascension. Key code 333 of the Sophia Dragon tribe. Really apologize if I'm not supposed to share all of this, because I don't have copyright permission, and I don't plan on reading from the book. And I really just want to keep this about endorsing a movement, a book, an author that is doing divine work. So I took that as a sign and proceeded to call my father, my best friend, my confidant, who has as much faith as anyone in the world. And we connect on so many levels. And I was inspired enough through talking to him that he ended up saying, well, are you thinking about going to Sedona? And I'm like, well, I don't know. That's where I might have my first moment of like, well, how much are you going to go for life, Don? How much are you going to go for this and see what's here? And he was the one to first say, hey, you might want to think about it. By the end of the conversation, his words were, I'll help you work it out and go and do it. Don't let money be a problem. I didn't need that or ask for that, but it was just the nudge I needed that my father seems to have always provided for me that helped me. I made a appointment to speak with a team angel, somebody who is working with and for Kaya Ra to help people get questions answered. That conversation blew my mind. It was really nice. Every question I had was answered. I knew that people who would be in Sedona wouldn't be ahead or behind me, that we were all going to be there getting fresh transmissions. So I went for it and went to Sedona. What I found out was more and more validation in magic. This was the most professional, organized spiritual event I've ever attended. And I've been to a lot of different events. The container, the representatives, Kaya Ra teaching, sharing, channeling. This is a channel book. Kaya Ra takes no credit other than for the preface. It took her 7 years to write this. It was painstaking, she shares, in that as she was getting the downloads, she had to put them into practice or else she wasn't confident putting it out. Due to her terrible first 18 years, traumatic, she was healing through the process so much that she was gaining trust, that she was feeling better and better about it. I don't mean to put words in her mouth, but that's what I've gotten from watching her interviews. So she did put it out as the bottom line. And thank God it was a bestseller, I believe, immediately. How does that happen if it isn't magic, if it isn't divinely ordained, it's inspired, etc. So again, I'm in Sedona now, having spoken outwardly about what I'm going there to do. I want to meet this community. I want to be in the presence of the live transmissions. I want to feel how this lands for me, because I'm getting feelings like, I wonder how much of a role in this life this is going to play for me. Because again, my greatest fears were going public with all that I am going to be teaching, that I need to teach, that I'm being compelled by higher self to teach without having legions of support of angels. I don't need some support from family and friends. I need enormous support to feel safe, to feel like I'm not going to poke the bear in a way that's going to have me being censored, imprisoned, or worse. So not only did I find the professionalism, the organization, the dress, the atmosphere, the altars, the energy field to be perfecto, but I found Kaya Ra to be one of, if not the most inspiring, funny, and real public figure and channel that I've seen. I'm not embellishing. There was laughter because she is such a pure channel in tapping into the dragons and Mother Mary, and it's just continual for her. There's no change of voice. There's no need for trance. And boy, did that embolden me to realize that I've been channeling higher self my whole life. There's been such a weird thing because I love channeled material that you end up thinking, well, I need to be getting the message. I need to be hearing it or having clairvoyance, and it needs to be the Buddha or Jesus or the Galactic Federation or whatever. It can't just be me, higher self. Who wants to hear that? Well, it turns out everybody wants to hear their own higher self. And when people speak from their higher self, as I am trying to channel for this today, and be authentically present here. And I will try and keep this under a half hour, but hey, go do something else. Come back. I just need to get all this out. When one person shares from the heart, from the sacred heart, which is synonymous with higher self, more people will do the same and be inspired too. These are the laws. And every body I met, I'm just going to tell you what I wrote. These were the most switched on people, both associated with and in attendance at this event. There were so many synchronicities and soul level connections that I really think I could go on for 2 hours here. Because you know how it is when you're traveling and you're having these special days and moments when it's just like you'd have to journal for like 3 hours to get it all down, because it was just on and on and on and on and on. So magical. I left the event in Sedona with so much more trust in myself and my psychic abilities. By the way, that's one of the online courses that Kaya Ra has channeled since publishing the book. I found myself at one point on the journey there wondering, what has she been up to for 5 or 6 years since she published the book? I hope she took some time off, but there's no other book I know of. I'm such a newbie to this, and yet I have had the book for so long. I feel so blessed. It's been so fun to meet people and hear their stories, because this book will not be opened by you if it's not meant by you. If you're already turned off by it, don't seek it out. I mean, people buy it, they don't open it. I had this on trips to Thailand with me the last 2 years, haven't been opening it. It's just like a really, really powerful crystal or a talisman you want to have with you. It's not really a book. It's technology. Living transmission, it says. And it is. So I have now what I was seeking. And that's really why I'm sharing this. Everyone loves a success story. Well, so far this last month has been a success. And I don't see it slowing down. I have legions of angels and dragons behind and with me. Angel wings, blooming, growing, evolving out of me for real. This has dissolved any fears I've had about being public and being seen. I know that this transmission today, what I'm doing, isn't perfect. Hopefully the Facebook thing is centered like the YouTube, but I'm a beginner at beginning to do these things. So it will all get better. But I had to do this today. It was a promise to myself that that my offerings to the world and going public would get started today. I've spoke already about how this is a technology and it's a compass to guide you on the way, which is talked about in here, and a central part of Taoist philosophy, which I've been practicing through my acupuncture, hands-on healing and energy healing practice for 20 plus years. The way back to your power. Sorry, I'm going to do that again. This is a technology and compass to guide you on the way back to your power, yourself, and your heart, and the embodiment of your divine sovereignty in this important lifetime that we are all living. We are all living the most important lifetime we've had in some time. Why? Because whether you call it the age of Aquarius, the new age, or I love the age of miracles that we all are birthing as living souls embodied on this planet, we're birthing something new. You can all feel it. We know stuff's ending. We know something's beginning. This is the guide for me. And you get to embrace that those 8 beings I named earlier, those historical figures, they become your teachers. They're willing to be our guides. They've stepped up in a way that's miraculous. Kaya Ra has stepped up in a way that is miraculous. For a few weeks now, I have been stepping up in a way that's miraculous to me. You know you have it in you, but until you're 100% walking the talk, it feels a little bit like, I know what I can do, but that's a potential. I will finish this up. If you have any questions, leave comments, and in divine timing, I will respond. If you want more info about this movement, this book, the other online courses having to do with sovereignty, psychic powers, really understanding the book, there's Stargate 1, which is really the next level for the book that I'm going to be doing next, because I'm a newbie to the new information and stuff. There is so much information at Kaya Ra's website, KAIARA.com, and at our YouTube channel. I really apologize if it's not official Kaya Ra, but I think it is. Thank you for watching. There's so much to come for me, Don, the Qigong Shaman, on YouTube, and I'm going to be embracing that title. I think it's a good one for me. And the offerings that will be coming. I'm going to be putting up a YouTube real soon. Probably not today, tomorrow, on one of my favorite little techniques to rid yourself of energies and ground to the earth. As I finally feel safe to be publicly out and proud about sharing the light, the love, and the truth that I am. And you deserve this freedom and safety to be yourself publicly if you so desire to. If this has helped you be that in any way, share with me in the YouTube comments, or if you're a friend on Facebook, or even if you're not a friend on Facebook, I am me. And we can begin the divine connections and the divine things, the plethora of gold and wealth and abundance we have all come here to experience, embody, and share. Namaste. This is the beginning of a wonderful journey. Amen. Amen. Amen.